Hello, class. My name is Jordan Johnson, and I'm a senior here at Madonna University. The theory I chose from our book, Introduction to Criminology Why Do They Do It, was the classical school theory. The classical school model assumes that crime occurs after a rational individual mentally weighs the potential good and bad consequences of a crime. Then the individual makes a decision about whether or not to engage in a certain behavior. The classical school theory is different than other theories because it places significance on free will and rational decision making. The theory states that the primary responsibility depends on an individual taking all incidents into account and deciding whether or not to engage in criminal behavior. The emphasis in classical school theory is placed on individuals' decision making regardless of any irrelevant influences on their free will. These irrelevant influences can include the economy or the bonding of society. Classical school is the best paradigm that will allow people to analyze what is going on in an individual's head before they decide to commit a crime. The theory was presented around the mid 1700s and is still the dominant model of offending behavior in the criminal justice system today. The common theme all classical school theories share is that individuals commit crimes because they identify certain situations and actions as beneficial due to a perceived lack of punishment and a perceived likelihood of profit. An example of the common theme shared among classical school theories is that an individual may see robbing a small mom and pop shop as a way to easily gain money to pay off bills or debt they owe, figuring nothing that serious will happen to them if they are caught. The example shows how an individual who's a potential offender will weigh out the possible pros and cons of committing the act of robbing a shop. Based on these pros and cons, they will behave in a rational way after their analysis. The foundation of the classical school theories can be traced to Italian scholar Cesare Beccaria. Many experts consider Beccaria the father of the classical school of criminology because of his significant work. The key to Beccaria's propositions and theories is the importance of free will and individual choice, meaning that an individual makes their own choice on whether they choose to engage in criminal behavior or not. Beccaria knew that there was a need for punishment. However, he believed that there should be laws created to preserve public safety and order, not just to punish people to avenge a crime. As part of Beccaриa's classical school theory, he believed in the theory of deterrence. Beccaria believed that it was better to focus on preventing crimes than punishing them. The classical school theory is very important because the theory of deterrence came to light with it. There could be many reasons as to why an individual is deterred to commit a crime. They could know the consequence of a crime, and that alone could stop them from committing it. An example of the theory of deterrence under classical school can be seen when discussing drunk driving. An individual who has never driven drunk before believes that the likelihood of being caught are extremely high. The individual knows that if they are caught drunk driving, they will be arrested, and that is just the start of their problems. The thought alone of getting arrested will usually be a big enough punishment to deter people for committing a crime. Another well-known classical school theorist, like Beccaria, is Jeremy Bentham of England. Bentham helped spread the classical school theory and Beccaria's philosophies to Britain. Bentham's most important contribution was his concept of hedonistic calculus. Hedonistic calculus basically means the weighing of pleasure versus pain. The weighing of pleasure versus pain can be relatable to rational choice and utility. A rational person will be less likely to commit an act if the expected pain outweighs the expected benefit. However, if the expected benefit of committing an act outweighs the expected pain, a rational person will take place in the act. Besides Bentham's idea of hedonistic calculus, his contributions to classical school theorizing did not significantly revise the model. His major contribution was spreading the idea of classical theory to Britain. Overall, the classical school theory states that humans are rational and make decisions freely. While making these decisions, humans do understand the consequences of their choice. Here are my photo references. Here is my source reference.